you're doing good. And yeah, I'm finally getting back to doing another video here where I live in southwest Germany. Our boys, the Kita that they're at, was on summer holiday for over 3 weeks, and they just went back the other day, so now I have space and time to get back to these. And yeah, I want to share a few things today, and one of the topics that I would like to share about is something that it's been of interest to me for a long time, around 20 years, and when I got clean and sober from drugs and alcohol, yeah, this is when that interest started. And it's the topic of different practices or rituals, tools that we use that really support us in the things that we're wanting to do in our life, and really like self, reflection, and just like really learning and really developing. And for me, it started with meditation early on in my sobriety. And from there, I learned different things that were really supporting this process I was in of staying free from drugs and alcohol addiction. And, the way I looked at it back then was, having all these tools to really strengthen me to support me in staying free and like really healing. And yeah, it was all about this support. And, that was what started my journey on really realizing the importance of ritual and having as much as possible, like, I'm not the type of person that does things every day no matter what, but I can do things, I get into them, and I find this flow with it. It took me years to really accept my flow. I'm not someone that's like every single day, but I have a flow. And it became very important for me it's been a lifelong actually journey, this of diving into practices and rituals. And then when I was diagnosed with cancer in 2015, it really changed the complexion and helped me dive deeper into this experience. And over the last couple years, and this is why I'm bringing this up now, it's another layer has revealed itself, because I believed obviously it was important before. I've been doing it for a long time. But with what's happening in the last couple of years, I've noticed that there's a magnification of us being pushed to focus on the external. That's when I look at the trajectory of like the last 100 years, the technological trajectory has just gotten more and more focus on the external, more on consumption. So obviously this isn't new. But in the last 2 years, it's really reached this boiling point of there's so many things trying to take us out of our center. And I was, someone like me that decided a long time ago to stop watching mainstream media because I knew what that was all about. I have been focused on this news and information the last 2 years because when this thing started rolling out, 2020, my alarm bells went off and there was information I was finding that was actually showing what's happening. And as I mentioned in another video, there was a lot of the stuff I knew was coming I found it much earlier. Things that are happening right now, this information was there a couple years ago. And it's been around for a long time, this information of people knowing. But anyway, my point on that is I was really ingesting this information excessively, like really trying to find out what's going on and the best way to help protect my family. That's where it was coming from, this protection of my family. And so, but what I realized is that there needs to be a balance, and that's the way that I see this technology. It's incredible, the technology we have, and I see society, we're using this technology in a very adolescent and addictive way. But if we can use this technology in a way that helps us navigate and support the things rather than become our existence, then I think it can be a beautiful synergy. And so, these last couple years, I've noticed that I've gotten really hyper-focused on the external things of this information. And so I'm in this process now of, finding the balance and also getting back to going within a lot more. And because I believe also these tools that we can learn right now, meditation and visioning, breath work, all of these different tools can really support us in navigating these times that we're in, this major shift. And also, I believe that it can be an incredible support for actually us tuning in collectively and supporting, creating, and co-creating this new system that is actually being built right now. We are literally witnessing the crumbling of an old dying system, and a new one is arising. And this is the incredible opportunity that we have right now. We can get in tune with that new system. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but this is what we're witnessing, and this is exciting. And I believe these tools can support that. The old way of living is going away, and there's people that want it to go a specific way, and I'm not going to go into that today. I'm not going to go into what these people want. If you don't know about it, just check out the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab. You can hear it from their interviews and their website. And but I won't go there. I'll just say there's some people that want it to go a specific way, and they're holding on to the past, their past power and greed. And then there's this natural way that things are unfolding that is going to bring us back into nature. And I've been thinking, and a lot of people have been trying to come up with, what are the ways that we can do to stand up for this new system? And I think there's a lot of over-analysis on it, myself included. But some of the things, I believe, are quite simple. And, it comes down to unplugging from this system, layer by layer. And it's not easy because we're so intertwined with it. But there's so many different facets to the system. But I believe at the core, if we're doing the inner work and we're starting to tune in with this visioning, and imagine if we're doing this in group settings more and more. Like I told some friends about a year and a half ago that I felt that, I remember hearing years ago that there were many groups around the world that are in remote areas, Himalayan mountains, monks, nuns, and different groups that are meditating on raising the frequency of the planet, meditating on peace. There's even been measured studies on this, what this does. And I remember thinking when I heard about that a long time ago, wow, that's incredible that these people are doing that. And when I told some friends a year and a half ago or whatever it was, I'm like, those people that are meditating in these remote areas, when it sounded like a good idea before, now what I believe is it's time for us to join them. Time for us to tune in with that. Some people think it's woo-woo, but the reality of the situation is everything is vibration in this existence we're in. And so the more that we are tuning in with that frequency, unplugging from the fear and tuning in with that frequency that we want to co-create. And it's also a balance there because, I don't believe in bypassing either. I think it's very important to realize what's happening right now, all around us. Really seeing, because for me, I've always wanted to dive into the darkness to see what's really going on. With my past addiction with drugs, that was a really dark time. And this thing with cancer, there's a lot of darkness to that. But this is something I feel my soul yearns for, is like really, really seeing what's there. Not just the positive stuff, but like really the challenging things, the dark things. And I think it's important for us to go there. We don't have to dwell there, but just to dwell with our own shadow and the shadow of the world, and then work with that frequency and transmute it, alchemize it, and then get into co-creation, but really finding this balance of flow with that and not ignoring it. So I feel it's important to really look at all these sides. And if you're someone that's really knowing what's going on. Maybe it's about getting into nature more, like sometimes we can't move, but just getting into nature more, when I was living in Berlin or any city, I hardly ever went into nature. And now I'm making sure that I'm out in here doing something almost every day. And just the silence of nature, the nervous system we have, like we live in this society that's has us all in this state of fear. But what we are in this natural state for us is to be really calm, and nature helps us get calm. And so while the world is getting in a state of panic, I think it's important for us to, stay grounded so we can have our balance and navigate these waves and help co-create this field that we want to see. And so that's the topic of ritual, I believe, has changed, for me. Like I feel like we've been in a bit of a training ground here, right? Before what's going on the last couple of years. And now we're like we can use these tools that we've learned to support this new system. And there's so many sides to it, There's a spiritual side, there's a financial side, because those of you know that crazy Ponzi scheme financial side. That's another day topic maybe. And so many different facets to what's going on. And I believe ritual can be a way for us to ground ourselves, and then also tuning in with our community. And maybe if you're curious about other types of practices, some of you are probably already doing what I'm doing. Some of you might be wanting some different ideas, and maybe some of the things I say might stimulate something. So I'll tell you like just a little bit of my practices at the moment. So in the morning I wake up and I do a breath work based off of Wim Hof, and then I go into the cold bath. And actually soon here in the next few days I'll be changing that to doing ice baths. And I do a few yoga asanas, and then I get on the rebounder trampoline. It's really good for the lymphatic system, draining that out, and also it's good exercise. And then I do like a small little prayer, gratitude, and that's how I start the day. And this really changes the complexion of my day when I'm doing that. And then in the afternoon, I stop what I'm doing and I do a breath work and meditation visioning session. And this I started doing based off of Dr. Joe Dispenza's teachings, and I've taken it and just kind of adjusted it. But this is an incredible tool, I believe, to use not only for our own life, but like this is where we can get into the co-creative field as well. But I do this breath work where I'm really getting my body, allowing the breath to really flow through and getting in this vision state. And then I go back to my day. And then at night, lately, I have been finally getting back to, because as I said, I was really on this information external in the evening, doing it before I go to bed, cell phone in bed, looking at all this stuff that's happening. And what I'm doing now is I'm leaving the phone out of my room and finishing my night. And it's amazing what that does. When you don't have the phone around, the thoughts are different. They're totally different. And there's more space and it's quieter. So then I finished now the night with a light breath work. And really find it really important for us to do these anyway, and especially in these times. And let's see, before I started this, I was thinking about going a bit more into like what's really going on in the world. But I also, I don't feel like giving that so much energy. But I do, if you're curious, I do think it's important to look for yourself. There's different things you can look for, and you can find what's actually going on. And it's really a special time that we're in. We really have this beautiful opportunity to stand for something, and this I find exciting. And yeah, I don't know about you, but I feel lately like I'm a bit coming back from the dead. The last couple of years, like, oh, there was such intensity, and there's more to come. But yeah, I feel like since we've all gone through this, we are, yeah, becoming more resilient. And yeah, I feel like there's this opportunity we have to really, yeah, be able to navigate this in an empowered way, no matter what is coming our way next time, because next time we won't really be surprised. And yeah, then we can use these tools of ritual that I was speaking of to really help us ground, and no matter what's going on. And you know, we become as self-reliant as we can. We find community that are supporting each other, and we can navigate it. And yeah, I also think it's important, you know, I see a lot of people just trying to move on and like ignore. It's also important to deal with, you know, we've all been through a lot the last couple of years. Everyone's been through something, and I see a lot of people trying to just forget it, and that's not how it works. Our body doesn't forget what we go through. And I even look at that with myself, you know, it's important for me to process what's going on and release it. And yeah, I think that is it for today. I did mention in my first video I was going to be doing online meditations, and I am still intending to do that. I basically have settled on doing that like late in the fall. The summer's been a bit busy, and so I think in the summer or the autumn winter time, I'm going to be putting more of an energy and more of a focus of doing these online sound journey meditations where we are tuning in with ourselves and also tuning into the collective field. So yeah, I will of course talk more about that, and yeah, wish you a beautiful summer or rest of the time, or winter, depending on where you are in the world, and I will talk to you next time.